Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Gazety here. It has been a bit. It's been a while since I've done a video. I must admit, just been busy in my real life and been in a tricky spot with this game. You know, ups and downs. But here I am. I've decided to get back on it and create a video today for you, and it's going to be Ascension 2.0. What's going to happen today is I'm going to take you through Ascension, the second stage, and just go through all the tougher levels. Now, obviously, I created a video on this a while back and completed Ascension when it was slightly harder, but since then I haven't actually touched it really. I've just been autoing my battles. I haven't even tried the newer format, so I've not actually, really spent any time to see how difficult it was. And I had a couple of people in my club mention about certain levels being difficult, so decided today to revisit it and just effectively redo all these missions, all the harder ones, I'd say. So what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at Toystory. I'm going to do a separate video which looks at the final stages with Tangled, but keep an eye out for that. That should be dropping soon as well. But today's focus is going to be Toystory. This is the one that was so hard previously, and I've got to be honest, in trying this again, it wasn't straightforward. I'm kind of glad Glue didn't make it super easy, because it needed to be. We needed challenging content, so it was nice to see that I had to kind of work for it. And I'll just say, before you get into Ascension, you have to be prepared to fail. You're going to have to be prepared to lose energy. So if you go in with that mindset and not like stressing about not actually completing a mission when you might just fall short due to RNG or something like that, you've just got to accept that. So there is going to be RNG in these battles. I got really lucky on some occasions here, but effectively I got unlucky in some others. So, you just got to ride the wave a little bit. And I'll stop rambling. All right, so I'm going to show you quickly the team and my stones that I used for all of these missions. Right, so this is my team. Lotso, Big Baby, Chunk, Zerg, and Bo Peep. It's very important to have this set up. If you have Chunk next to Lotso and he taunts, Lotso might take that taunt. Whereas if you've got Big Baby and Zerg, Lotso actually might take the offense up that they give themselves. If Big Baby gets hit, he cleanses and gives himself offense up and heals a little bit. And the same with Zerg, is a chance to do this as well. And the other thing is, obviously, you just want your tanks on the flank. So Chunk and Bo Peep serving their purpose there. I'll quickly show you the stones. So stones, I don't like moving my stones, I must admit, and I completed them all without these, without moving them. So I had recovery on Lotso, health on Chunk, health on Bo Peep, crit chance. I just had these stones lying around, so crit chance of Big Baby. And then the main one, I'd say, the one you have to have really, is this offense stone on Zerg. Actually, the health stone on Chunk is super, super beneficial as well. But, these others, if you want to really, make sure you get it the first time, you can go with speed. So this is what I had. And then in terms of G8, you obviously can see all of them are G8s apart from Bo Peep, who's level 16 G7. Zerg has one piece of gear 8.1 or whatever you want to call it, 8.5, and that's the speed piece. So yeah, he just hits a little bit harder because it's got offense on it. Right, so that's the stones. And then the spells, really, really important. So what we're going to be, you're going to see me alternate between Cauldron and Duke Kaboom and Cauldron and Slumber throughout this tutorial. So that's just one to that's just one to be wary of. And anyway, now I'm going to switch the footage. Okay, so the first mission is going to be Merida, and it's going to be against some minions with some rams and some people. Now, the thing to watch out here for is the people do the big damage. Well, actually, both units do big damage, but the rams are much squishier, so they're actually a lot easier to take out, or the goats, or whatever, you know, whatever you want to call it. So much easier to take out. So you'll see that, yeah, you can even see that in the opening barrage with Zerg. He gets his passive off, and I'm not even going to save these specials. I want to use them straight away because I don't want them to get any turns off. To be honest, they just hit too hard. You don't really want to chance it. However, I will say you do want to get hit at least once. You need to charge your spells. It's so important to go into these final rounds with your spells charged. And you'll see I don't actually charge them in this first level, but I do in the second one. I get a little bit lucky here with the skunk, with the stun, and as you can see, Big Baby can wipe them all. Now this is important. Chunk took 2 hits there. I'm just going to pause it. He took 2 hits there. Obviously took him quite low, but it's charged your spells. And Cauldron being out now is going to be able to, well, the idea is you want actually Cauldron to go to Zerg to charge his passive. And this is what you're going to need in all of these fights. Effectively, Cauldron needs to be charging Zerg up so his passive goes off, because you're ultimately going to be fighting a lot of minions here and they hit really hard. So, and he's your damage dealer, so this is what you need to happen. It's also good if Big Baby takes some of the magic charges. And the other thing is, with Lotso's call to assist, he can actually call the Cauldron as well, which can, you know, help give that magic charge. So yeah, you can see it procced his passive, and now I'm going into the final round. Probably not as well as I wanted to be set up. However, this is really about control. Let's pause that. So you have to, in these situations, I took Slumber in here because I wanted to get the slows out and to be able to sleep. Now it's really important to target the units with the highest turn meter. You can see here there's a couple of danger men, really these ones here, and these are who you're going to focus on. So yeah, using Lotso's call, you see it called the Cauldron as well, which is good. It might have, I'm not sure if it got Zerg, but really important there. One other thing I wanted to mention as well is Chunk and Bo Peep. Chunk, when he's got haste, will actually apply offense down on his basic, and Bo Peep applies offense down on her basic. That's such a key move to set yourself up in these rounds, because Chunk's only the one that's going to be taking the hits, and you're going to need to withstand these massive hits, and with offense down, you have that ability to. So you can see it went quite quickly, but ultimately it was all about control. I got very lucky with Merida. She actually took out, if I scroll back here, sorry, Merida, at this point you use the AoE, but Merida actually hits the Cauldron. So I got really lucky, and you're going to need some of that luck, as I said. But yeah, that's another great thing about the Cauldron. It acts as another unit, and these characters often hit the Cauldron, or often aim for it. So saved my bacon there. As I say, these rounds aren't exactly easy. They hit really hard. So anyway, that is the first mission. Let's just fast forward. Right. So this next one is going to be Mordu and Baloo with a bunch of snakes, and I'd say you need to concentrate. Oh, you got the monkeys as well in here. The monkeys don't really do anything. They don't hit hard either, so you can, by and large, just ignore them. I'm taking in the same spells as I took in previously. The aim here is just to take out the cobras, the snakes. Obviously, aiming for the one with the most turn meter, so they don't take a turn. These guys really hit hard, so you don't want them to take a turn. As I say, focus on the two snakes. One thing I'd mention is these monkeys. Whenever you've got a character with low health, they'll heal that character. Otherwise, they'll do what you've just seen there, and they'll just give themselves turn meter and this crit chance buff. But as I say, there was only one threat on the field, which was that that one cobra. So it's a fairly easy mission, this one, and you'll see as I get to the next phase. I'm saving Slumber. It's gonna be used on, I believe I'm going to use it on Mordu. I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to do, but Mordu for me is the one that is a bit of a threat when he gets empowered, or when he goes below a bit of health. He gives himself offense up and counter, which nearly causes me problems here. But as I say, slumber him and then aim for the snakes. Baloo is actually, after playing Showdown, I've got a newfound appreciation for Baloo. Really quite a good character that I will want to level up at some point. But yeah, you can kind of just ignore the monkey, ignore Baloo, and yeah, I kind of leave Mordu to last here. It nearly costs me actually, but and as you'll see, but for the most part, it's this one took me one attempt. It's not difficult. It would have been useful to have landed offense down there with Bo Peep, but you see this counter nearly cost me. I do have a bit of RNG in these fights, so I'm not gonna lie. It's I did get a little bit lucky. So anyway, that's the Baloo and Mordu fight. Moving on. Now, this next mission is actually quite a difficult one, and this is where I changed my spell. I like Duke because the aim here is I want to take out Anger in one shot. If you don't, Anger, and you hit him below, I'm not sure what the threshold is, but if you hit him below a certain threshold, let's say half health, he does this AoE on you, and it hits quite hard, so you don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm taking in Duke Kaboom here, because you'll see that I effectively want to use Duke, and then with Zerg take him out in one shot with either of his specials. Notice here that I am trying to get hit by this soldier. I want that spell. In fact, I'll just wind it a little bit. You can see the cauldron here isn't really charged. It's about just halfway. Once I get hit by him, it charges much more, and this is why it's so key to try and let them get a hit off on you. And it's coming up now. You see, it's nearly fully charged, so really important to just let you. And the thing is, Chunk can survive as well. It would have been more ideal if I'd been able to put offense down, but it's very useful to get hit in these earlier phases. You've just gotta control it and be a little bit lucky with the RNG. Sometimes they just start with too much turn meter, and you'll see here I do actually get really lucky. I tried to take them out, but as you see, one of the soldiers went for the cauldron and the other one nearly got Lotso, but got lucky. You need a bit of luck, and ultimately I'm going to go in with all of these characters standing to the final wave. I wanted to time this so it would be Zerg's first turn here, That's why I'm just basically biding my time. And now with Zerg's first turn, I can take out Anger. So I'm going to use Duke. Going to use his one shot. And then his passive sets off, which is also great. I didn't realize that was going to happen. Really, really useful that happened. Gets them all low. Makes this look way easier than it is. And now the aim is to take out the soldiers. Jangles can actually hit you quite hard when he does his taunt, but fortunately he chooses his other special here, which doesn't actually do a lot to me. Nearly took him out there, but as you see, not enough. So that's that one. Looks easier than it is. Definitely a hard mission. So this next mission has Big Bad Wolf and Pete. I could have probably done it better than this, but this was my first attempt, and I think I passed it. So the strategy was the first time strategy, if that makes sense. There wasn't much planning that went into this, but I used Cauldron and Slumber. You'll see why I used them, why they were important in a second. So ideally I would have probably played that better and actually wanted to get hit by one of the soldiers to charge my spells up a little bit more, but as I say, this was my first attempt, so it wasn't too wasn't as smooth as it could have been, let's just say. Using his basic, when he's got haste, applies that offense down, and you'll see why that's useful. Obviously that charges the spell and he takes a hit which he can survive, and now I've got my Cauldron ready to go into the final phase, hopefully to charge up Zerg. Big Baby's AoE is just amazing. He's such an underrated character. I think what I was trying to do here was I was trying to time it so that Zerg was going to be going into this with his passive, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So I'm just going to pause it here. That was quite a big decision from me. Rather than going after to Big Bad Wolf and Pete, I knew my spell was about to charge, and I knew that these commandos are really, really dangerous. So I actually chose to go after the commando rather than one of these two. The other side of it is that one shot might not have taken out these two characters, but now it means I've also got Slumber, so I'm going to drop Slumber on Big Bad Wolf, and then I'm going to take out Pete with my multi-blaster, and it just makes this a lot smoother. Can't really survive too many more of those. It was quite lucky. This is why it's so important to go after these commando guys. Big Baby's first special is actually great. It's a two cooldown special, and it reduces turn meter, so it's going to push back some turn meter on this commando. As you can see, pushes him back. I actually didn't know what these guys did. So finding out that they taunted, so I was trying to figure out whether to go after them, whether to put the offense down on them or not, and I chose against that. Just want to sorry, I keep stopping it, but I feel like these are important moments to explain. Lotso's second special applies taunt to the two weakest characters. Now you can see that this guy is about to go. If I use this special, it's going to give him taunt, and it means I'm not stuck behind these taunts. It's so underrated, and it's such a useful move, especially in these Ascension levels. and you'll see I do it again later on another mission. But being able to apply Taunt means then I can take him out with Zerg, which is huge, because another shot on Chunk and he's dead. He's gone. You can say I probably get a little bit lucky here as well. I do have Big Bad Wolf use his AoE. He didn't use his other special, which would have taken out a unit. But you know, as I've said before, you've got to have some level of luck with this, and you've just got to be prepared to take some losses initially, and just go in with the right strategy, you know, because it's not going to work every time due to RNG. But, you know, for the most part, you can get better, consistent gameplay if you have a game plan. Right, and so this final mission is against Robin Hood and Sheriff. And this is also quite a difficult mission. You've got to get a little bit of RNG on your sides, but the spells I use, again, are Cauldron and Slumber, I believe. Was it Slumber? We'll see in a second. No, sorry. Cauldron and Duke. I think the reason I used that is because I took a few losses on this to figure out what was the better spell, and I think Slumber wasn't giving me enough. I think I needed a bit more oomph to kill off Sheriff and Robin Hood, so that's why I chose Duke here. As you can see, first round is, you know, there's nothing to write home about. It's actually hard to charge the spells in this mission because you're going to have a taunt here, a taunt there. This guy's going to do something which isn't going to hit you, and then these guys are going to give themselves offense up and the guaranteed crit. Now, I don't want to be hit by them. They're gonna do too much damage, so you can't really charge your spells that well in this mission. They just kind of have to charge naturally, as you see here with Cauldron. But again, the ultimate aim is to actually kind of go in with Zerg. It doesn't happen. It doesn't quite happen here, but not to worry. Important here, Chunk has haste, give offense down, and you know, I was able to push back 10 meter on Sheriff. Now I'm gonna stop it again. So important. I've just used Lotso's second special again. It's given taunt to Sheriff. It means I can target Sheriff and not be stuck behind these taunts. It means I can target both Sheriff and Robin Hood and not be stuck by these taunts, because you can get stuck, and this is what I had on a couple of my runs previously. I was getting stuck behind these two guys, wasn't able to get here. Robin was hitting me for like 50k. Sheriff was, you know, scheming, and because if you hit Lotso, you can basically give yourself turn meter here. So he was scheming a lot and doing some big hits. So because I've hit them both, it's given them both taunt, and you'll see in a second with Zerg, I'm able to one-shot both of them, and this is why I took in Duke. After this, you're pretty much in the clear. Again, you just don't want these guys to take a turn. Big Baby's got a big AoE, it's going to wipe out a couple of them, and you're done, really. That's it. That's your Toy Story missions done. So let's pause there. So, you know, really, really important to have this team the way it's set up. You know, with Zerg and Big Baby at the back, and Chunk and Bo Peep on either flanks as your tanks. I managed to do this with a G7 Bo Peep. Just worry that, you know, there's a safety net if you take in G8, because effectively the damage scales. I think they do way more damage on G7s than they do on G8s. Like, basically they could easily one-shot Bo Peep, and you saw that nearly happen with Big Bad Wolf's AoE in the last fight. But these two characters here applying offense down on their basics, so important. Lotso healing, also applying taunts where you need him to, and then calling the mass assists on characters when they're about to go and you need to wipe them out. And then your two damage dealers. Big Baby's got an amazing AoE, and Zerg is really the one that you look to just to take out single, for your single target damage. He's going to be the one that's taking out the actual, let's say, the hero characters on the other team. Like that one shot he did on Anger. It really, really is important I'd say it's important to go in with this team personally. If you don't have lots, so you can try Buzz, and Buzz is also a great character. He's got that stun. He also hits really hard, and you obviously you'll still be using Bo Peep lead, but I've made use of Lotso in all of these so far, so that's my recommendation. So there we have it, guys. It's a long video today, but I feel like these are important for people to kind of to get people through these missions. They're not easy, and it's I enjoy helping people. So I'll timestamp the video as well, because I understand it's going to be pretty long and pretty horrendous without being able to just skip to the parts that matter to you. So I'll do that. It would be really great if you can give me a like, leave me a like on this video. Please comment. I'm always keen to hear from you, whether it's just a comment on the video, whether it's a request, whether it's you think you can do better. Please, I'm always open for ideas, and I just enjoy theory crafting, and so in any case, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will do another video soon of the Tangled characters, just getting through those, basically the ones that you used to have to do with Toystory. Now with Tangled, and there's only one level or one wave, making it a bit easier, but Sen 6 is still pretty brutal at times. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, guys.